Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the finally fall book tag. I've never done this one before, but it does look like a lot of fun, so I thought I would give it a try. I'm not sure if the original creator is still on YouTube. If she is, I'm going to link her down below. But in case she's not, I'm going to link the video down below where I've seen the book tag most recently. This is just perfect for this time of year, and it is most definitely fall. The weather has cooled down, it's actually pretty chilly, and I'm very happy to just stay inside, stay cozy, and read a good book. Let's go ahead and answer the first question. The first question being, in fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. So I couldn't decide on just one, so I brought three. The first one being The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This has been around for some time now. I have only read this once. I do remember loving the setting. This is a fantasy novel set in a circus where two magicians are challenging each other and trying to one-up the other every time they're doing like a new magic trick. And these magic tricks are basically the tents where the visitors can come and have an amazing magical night. It is a very dense writing, so it took me a while to actually get into the story, but then the setting really was what made me fall in love. I still remember some of the tents like very vividly. I am not a reader who remembers like details a lot, but with this one, I remember some of the magic that they're doing, and it just touched my heart. I thought it was so well done and a very unique way of showing this competition between these two magicians. And I still think this is one of my favorite books if someone were to ask. I have been meaning to reread it ever since I read it the first time. I'm not sure if I have the time this year around, but it does feel like the perfect read for a cold winter's night. The next vivid setting that I want to present is the one of Scholomance in A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This is a setting that isn't of this world. We are in another dimension in a magic school that wants to kill its students, and there are monsters trying to get in, and the only thing that the kids are trying to do is survive until graduation. I read the whole trilogy, I loved the whole trilogy, but I do think that the setting in the first one is just so amazing because it's so monstrous, because you don't know the rules yet, you don't know what's going on, you don't know the intricacies of why everything is happening the way it is. It is like very deadly, it's very gory at times. The monsters are out to get everyone, but I also love the main character in this one. So if you're looking for like a magical setting but also like a survival game almost, this is the one for you. So we've had a very like magical, whimsical setting. We had a very monstrous setting. Now let's go ahead and look at a dystopian setting. And I've mentioned this one quite a lot this year, and that is Threads That Bind by Kika Hatsupulu. I'm in love with this story, with the characters, with the ending of the duology, because I've read the second one as well and it's amazing as well. And in this one we have a kind of murder mystery that is set in a very unique world that has a dystopian feel to it. The world is kind of broken and the people had to adapt to living under these new circumstances. The city that we are in is always drowned by the tides. Everything is kind of breaking down. You kind of smell the decay, and it has a very kind of film noir feel to it. And put that together with an amazing plot with great characters and you get a perfect read, in my opinion. The second question is, nature is beautiful, but it is dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but deals with heavy topics. The first book that I want to mention is one that I've only finished recently. I think it might actually be the last book that I finished at this point, and that is And the Sky Bled by S. Harty. And in this one we are again in a very unique setting. We have a world that is again crumbling because of climate changes. The magic is going all out of whack. People are desperate and are just trying to survive, and all of that is told in a story that is written so beautifully and with so much imagery that I was just amazed, and I am still thinking about it, so I couldn't not put this one on the list. And the reason that it's dealing with heavy topics, for one, it is the way that this broken world is kind of mirroring our world, everything that the climate change has done to it, to its magic, to its people, and the way that everybody is scrambling to find even like a little scrap of hope to keep on living, and it does not get better. It just evolves into something even worse and worse until the end. I'm not gonna spoil anything. But that's not the only thing that is heavy in this one. The plot is very heavily influenced by our world's colonization. So that theme is a very big narrative in this novel, as well as in the dynamics and the relationships between these characters. So go into it knowing that it is very devastating, and a lot of this fantastical story is actually based on very real things. Another book that I have read recently and that has stayed with me is Kristen Cashore's There Is a Door in This Darkness, and this one is set during the first COVID phase where everybody is still on lockdown. Nobody really knows what's happening, how long this is going to go on, if there's ever going to be like a new normal, and it is very heavy to read because it is so close to our own normal as of this moment, but it is written beautifully. There is like a magical component to it while this main character is trying to figure out the new way of living and again finding a bit of hope even in the darkness. It is also very heavily talking about the political landscape in the US. So even though this is set in 2020, it is again very relevant today. So even though a certain presidential candidate isn't named directly, the author made it very clear on her stance on the whole political landscape. So this is again something that you have to be aware of going in. Even though I loved the whole plot of it, I loved the characters, I loved again the relationship in this one, I did think that you were kind of getting hit over the head with the political situation going on, and so it was just a bit too much for me. But again, I'm still thinking about this one, and I read this as an ebook, but I knew right away that I wanted a physical copy of it. And the last book that I want to mention is one that I actually do have a physical copy of somewhere. I have the German edition of this one, but I think I lent it to my mom and she still has it. And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Bachmann. This is a very short book. This is a novella. I think it's under 100 pages, and I normally don't like short stories. I kind of like the bigger books. I want to go into the details. I want to like be with these characters for a very long time. But with this one, Bachmann really hit it out of the park. I feel like in this one, why it's beautifully written is because he uses the exact amount of words needed to tell the story, and I was sobbing at the end of it. I was sobbing. I think it was the most like visceral reaction that I've had to a book in a very long time, and it is the story of dementia and what it does with the people that are touched by it, not only the person who has the dementia but also their family. And it is again written so beautifully. You just have to read it. The third question is, fall is back to school season. Name a nonfiction that taught you something new. And I decided to go with Ace, What Asexuality Reveals About Desire, Society, and the Meaning of Sex by Angela Chan. I stumbled upon this and it is such an interesting read. I think she breaks down these whole stereotypes and ways of thinking about sexuality and desire and what it means in our society. She breaks it down so well, and she explains it in such a comforting and easy way to really bring the point across. And I learned so much about not only being ace but also everybody else not being ace, what it means for our relationships and for us as people. My sister actually read this as well, and it was such an interesting experience, both reading this and then talking about our own experiences and seeing where we differ, because sometimes we just assume that the way that we feel is how everybody feels, and this just breaks that down and makes us see that every emotion, every way of feeling is subjective to every unique person, and wherever we are on the spectrum, it is a very unique experience. So really love this book. And next up we have, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend time with people we love. Name a fictional family or a friend group you'd love to be a part of. And this one, I had so many found family stories like at the tip of my tongue already, but then I thought, okay, well, most of these are like found families that have couples in the end. So we have like Six of Crows, or we have the Lunar Chronicles, we have Five Broken Blades. All of these are like very great friend groups and found family groups, but then you kind of don't want to intrude because you're not like part of them. What makes this friendship group amazing is the interactions between these people. I know I'm making it way too difficult, but the family that I in the end decided upon is the one in Wolf Gone Wild and the whole series, because we have I think like 6 or 7 sisters that are all like witches, and with every, I mean it's the same again with everybody coupling up now that I think about it, but I love the sister aspect of it. So we have 6 or 7 magical sisters, and in every book of the series one of them finds love, and we always have these amazing family gatherings where you are just, it just feels like a warm hug basically. And I myself have 2 sisters, so that aspect just speaks to me, and I do really enjoy reading these books. The 5th prompt is: the nights are getting darker. Share a dark, creepy read. And with this one, I would most definitely say Dead Voices by Catherine Arden. This is a middle grade. It is the 2nd in the series, and I really enjoyed the 1st one as well. So if you're looking for like a fall read, that one would work perfectly. With this one, we are more like in a winter setting because they're snowed in the mountains and there are ghosts. And I do think that I was creeped out most with this book in the series, because at one point they're going down like a dark hallway and she feels someone take her hand, and she's like, oh god, thankfully I have someone who's holding my hand. And then it turns out her friend, who she thinks is holding her hand, is on the other side of the room. It was a ghost. A ghost was touching her and a ghost was holding her hand. And I still remember like shivering when I read that. So really love this one. But if you're looking for something else, something that is not middle grade, then I would recommend The Helm of Midnight by Marina Losterra. I still have the sequel of this that I want to read, because I still remember loving this first book in the series. And in this world you can embed certain memories and feelings in certain objects, in this case masks. And so for example, when someone dies, before they go they can put all of their knowledge of maybe their career into one of those masks, and whenever someone puts on the mask they then have that knowledge and can do what the deceased has done. The problem with that is that a very notorious murderer has left behind his knowledge and his desire for killing and maiming and being a really bad guy. And now that mask has gone missing and there are murders happening, and so we have again like a murder mystery happening in a very dark setting. Very good. Loved the magic system. It was so unique, and just talking about it now, it just makes me want to pick up the sequel so much more. Next up, we have The Days Are Getting Colder. Name a short, heartwarming read to warm up to on a cold, rainy day. I don't know about short, but I would have to say The House on the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is a hug in book form. I remember reading this during the first lockdown and I was just happy. I was smiling because of it. I love the characters. Again, found family, amazing, cozy fantasy. I have just now reread it and it holds up. It's just as cute and amazing and wonderful. And if you have like a rainy day and you're kind of like, I don't know what to do, I just want to like sit on the couch and do nothing and just be immersed in a very perfect, warm story, this is the one for you. Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd love to return to soon. And I guess I could say this is an old favorite because it has been a couple of years since I read it first. It's not something that I've read during childhood, because I do have old favorites that I haven't reread in a long time. But because it says returns every year, I'm gonna mention Green Glass House by Kate Milford, because I'm also trying to return to this one every year, because I feel like this is the perfect way to spend a cozy night in maybe like end of November, the beginning of December, going into like the Christmas season, because this is set in the week between Christmas and New Year's, and we are in an isolated setting up on the mountains in a hotel that doesn't expect any visitors because of the time of year, but then people are just showing up and everybody seems to have an agenda being there. And it does sound creepy, but it actually is very cozy. You will want to have hot chocolate on hand because they are like drinking hot chocolate every couple of pages and you will want to join in. I have read the second book in the series and it's just as good as this one, and I still need to continue on with the companion novels. So that's maybe one book that I want to read during the upcoming months, and then hopefully during the Christmas season this one again. Fall is perfect for a cozy reading night. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. And I think like one of them during the fall season especially is this shirt that I'm wearing. It's very soft and it says, "In October, we wear pink." Love this. Love just being cozy. And for the other accessories, I'll be right back. Where to start? So whenever I just want to cozy up with a good book, I put on my fairy lights and I put on a fireplace on my TV so that it's like crackling in the background. And then for the perfect smell, we have candles. So this one I have most recently used up. It smells so good and it's just cute, a little ghosty. Over the last couple of years I loved this one, and that is from Sand and Fog, Vanilla Pumpkin. Still one of the best smells. This one just was perfect for me. But I also love the candles from Grace and Honey. This is of course the business of Becca from Becca and the Books. I'm gonna link her down below. These always smell so good. They always have like a bookish theme to it. Then I have of course always a blanket with me, but this one is special because it has like a little hoodie, so you can put it on like this and then kind of cozy up with it. And of course you need an assortment of bookmarks and ways to tab a book, like your favorite quotes, and then of course you need a warm cozy drink. And that's it. Oh no, wait, I have a new favorite. I found this one in TK Maxx and I love it. It's my new favorite thing. I cozy up with this one, and of course I cozy up with my cat, and that is the perfect cozy night in. This was the Finally Fall book tag. Feel free to answer these questions in the comments down below. I would love to know what your perfect cozy read would entail. And until the next time, I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!